Hello! Hi everyone, it's another Friday. Yay! Okay, so today's topic or conversation of introspection of my life till date is a random one. So it's the one that has been going through my mind, as always, everything always going through my mind. And today's conversation is about the 6 choices to date that I felt changed my life. Join me. Let's dive in. Hi, welcome to Watered Seed. My name is Tokes. Okay, so let's dive into the conversation. I was introspecting a couple of days ago, as always, and I started to think about my choices, the choices that I'd made to date, the ones that have impacted my life, the ones that haven't, and I kind of just thought, choices are important. For everything that we do on a daily basis is split between positive and negative, and to get positive is based on the choices that we choose, and to get negative is based on the choices that we choose as well. Even the simplest things like the movie we watch, the food that we eat, what we decide to drink, even the simple things of life are impacted by choices that we choose. And I really wanted to share with the girls today the choices, well, 6 choices till date that have really impacted my life. And I hope that watching this video will allow you to perhaps write down 6 things or 6 choices that you feel like has impacted your life today. So this is not in any order of priority. I'm just going to talk about them as they kind of just come into my head. Number 1 for me is peace and seclusion. I kind of put them into one bracket. So a couple of years ago, perhaps a decade ago now, we moved from mid-London or Essex, London, and we moved to the East Midlands in Northampton. And for me initially, obviously that meant that I had to move away from my family, from my friends, and it was a bit lonely at first. I was secluded, I was on my own a lot of times after dropping the kids at school and working. There wasn't really any birthday parties that weekend that I could easily go to. I had to make friends, I was secluded. And at first, my own company was just not something I was used to. So that's almost falling in love with myself again. So the seclusion for me was obviously a choice that we made to move from London. And it really did impact my life in a big way, because it really allowed me to hear my own voice. It really allowed me to hear my own feelings. It helped me to appreciate the importance of being by myself, of being alone, but also being at peace, which means that there wasn't any drama. Not that there was a lot of drama anyway, but there wasn't any really friends drama. There wasn't any dispute or any conversation or argument or anything like that. My life was peaceful and secluded, and because of that, I could really, really hear myself think. I started to really love my own company. Anything that I could do to kind of just, when the kids were at school, to get myself in that place of seclusion. And so, moving, seclusion, and my peace was one life choice that I think has changed me till date, because it really helped me to refine the things that I wanted to do in life. Number 2 is accountability. Right, so I didn't think I was doing it growing up, or even in my teens or in my early 20s, but I always thought that I was right. Yeah, do you feel the same way? That every time you say something, you think that your view is always the best way? Well, I had a lot of that. And because I was naturally sensitive, it meant that when people do not accept my way or do not understand my way, I would keep a grudge. So one of the choices that I started to make was I started to be accountable for the fact that my way isn't always the best way. And to be able to accept that perhaps other people's ways were actually better than mine, and not to keep a grudge about it. The accountability was also the fact that as a person, I might have actually hurt other people in my behavior, in my actions, in the things that I've done, because for me it was always a case of other people had offended me, and so they had to face the brunt of it, and it was never me. And so accountability started to change my objectivity in regards to just not seeing myself as a force to reckon with the world, is also allowing other people to speak and for me to actually hear and listen, for me to understand that I may have caused other people pain, for me to understand that I may have caused other friends pain, or I wasn't the best friend, you know, is the moment I took that accountability, I was able to see the things that I could do better. Not thinking that I was always right, but able to listen to other people as well. Number 3 was the acceptance of my imperfections. Now, it almost seems like it's exactly the same as accountability, but it is different. Because as a person, and I know as humans, generally we want to be liked. We want other people to always say good things about us. And so I was exactly the same. In any place or anywhere that I was, I wanted people to just say good things about me. And that was very important to me. But the moment I started to accept that I was actually imperfect, and it didn't really matter if people liked me or not. The point is, you want most people to like you, but in general, real life, maybe that's not the case. And so the moment I started to accept that you don't have to like me, I just have to be myself. And if this person likes me, then that's great. Or if this person sees my flaws and think that, you know, my strengths outweigh my flaws and they still want to be my friends, then that is great. So it is accepting the imperfections in myself to say, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea. I'm so perfect. Okay, no, I'm not perfect. But we have to understand that we are imperfect and we cannot be everybody's cup of tea. We cannot be liked by everybody. We need to be ourselves, and the people who are for us will like us for who we are. So for me, it was accepting my imperfections and that it could rub other people the wrong way and they don't want to have anything to do with me. And for other people, they'll be like, oh yeah, she's imperfect, but you know, I still like her. So making that choice and understanding that choice impacted the way that I saw things around me. So number 4 for me was consistency. Now, as a person generally, you know, my husband said the other day that I like myself in the bubble, which is funny. At the time he said it, I wasn't finding it funny. I was upset about it. But I actually thought about it, and I do put myself in a bubble. And this bubble is a protection for myself because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to step outside my comfort zone. I just want things kind of the way they are. They help me to feel secure. But one of the choices that I started to make a couple of years ago was I started to step outside of my bubble. Like this YouTube video, because this would not be something that I would normally do. I would just think too much about the criticism. I would think about the way I was talking. I would think about the way I looked, what I was wearing. There was just too much. It isn't something that I would have thought to do a couple of years ago. But part of this is the consistency in how. But consistency for me is allowing myself a chance to grow, to take baby steps and to keep going at what I'm doing. So this YouTube channel for me really is one of the great consistent things that I've had to do, not within my life, but almost like the external part of my life, which is allowing yourself to be here fortnightly, record a video and know that you have to post it. It is a level of consistency, even though I don't know what the future holds. But I know that right now, it is the best thing, and it is a voice in my head that keeps telling me this is something I need to do. And so I will consistently do that. And just for everything else in my life, to consistently do things, even baby steps along the way. Number 5 for me was intentional parenting. Yes, absolutely. So I made a choice a couple of years ago that I wanted to intentionally parent. So I don't want to parent based on how I was feeling. I wanted to parent based on understanding just how their brains work, and then parent my children in that way. To be able to support them, not just to be emotionally supportive, but I wanted to grow their brain size. I wanted to help them develop to a point where they can actually self-nurture themselves, where they can actually support themselves, where they can be resilient, go out there and deal with the world. So I started to introspect my own life, my own behaviors, the things that I was doing that I could subconsciously pass to my children without me knowing that were negative. I decided to parent intentionally. The best foundation you can give any child is to make them understand the importance of who they are, but how you do that as a parent with everything else in our lives, with the need to pay bills, with the need to fulfill our own self-desires, and the need to also be a wife, and all of these other things that kind of surround us that we need to fulfill while being parents. So one of the choices, or the great life choices that I've made that has impacted me today and the way that I think and the way that I see other things, is to be intentional in regards to my parenting, which includes reading a lot of books, going out there to do research just about how the brain of kids. And so number 6, last but not the least, is my faith. My faith has made a significant change in my life. And so when I talk about my faith, yes, my foundation is Christianity, but when I'm talking about my faith, because I was always a Christian, but it is the faith part that changed in my life. It is how I viewed my relationship with God, how I viewed my relationship to Jesus, and how I was able to embody that to the people around me. As a Christian, generally, for my foundational life, I was very quick to judge other people. I was quick to judge other religions. In fact, I was quick to judge other Christians who were living their lives but not exactly like mine, because again, it was a superiority, like, oh, what I was doing was better, this was how I had to live. And so when I say that one of the biggest change in my life was understanding the faith and my relationship with Jesus, because that changed everything. That changed how I was judging other people, because I had no right to judge other people. I had no right to judge other people in other religion. I had no right to say someone was doing something that was wrong. Yes, I could have an opinion, but because I have an opinion doesn't always mean that I'm right. Yes. Now, I want to segregate facts, which are things that are true, for things that are just opinion. There's some facts, yes, that are right. It doesn't matter if you believe them or not, they're just what they are. And there's opinion. So I had a lot of opinion about other people, and it didn't necessarily mean that that was the right opinion. So one of the greatest changes in my life till date is a reflection of my faith and who I was embodying, and Christ that I was embodying, and how I had to accept other people, how I had to listen to other people, how I had to understand that I am not in any place to judge other people, that I needed to live my best life, like my friend would say, is about living your best life in marriage, in children, in friendship, in my faith with Jesus. It's being the best that I can and following him. And the hope is that the light that I have in him will radiate to the people around me to then make a change to them. But it is not from a level of I am better than anybody else. It is just from a level of you doing the best you can, loving the people around you, being positive, and that is really the best you can do. These are 6 choices till date that I continue to reflect on a daily basis, and that continues to change my life in a big way. So I hope that this gives you time for you to reflect as well in regards to the 6 choices that you continuously make on a daily basis that makes a change or difference in your life. So we will see you in a fortnight. I was thinking about having a group of women talk about their own choices that have impacted their lives. So watch out for this in the next video, and to really understand what choices they've made in life that has really impacted them. So see ya.